This is a homage beat.
Grace and peace. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of I Saw the Lord. It's your boy Brandon. It's good to be here back with my brother Jermel. Last week I had a great conversation with my brother Rich. Shout out to Rich. Thank you so much for coming through and being a part of the podcast. It's like I said, just thank you for reaching out to me on Instagram. Just making that step because, like I said, I just failed at being the initiator. But we had a great conversation last week talking about what expectations should you have when giving a gift. And just generally, most people would say you shouldn't have any expectation. But I kind of come against that and say, at the very least, you should expect someone to be thankful and responsible because you're ultimately accountable to the one who gives the gift. And the greatest gift that we all have been given is life. And I'll speak for myself that I have not always been thankful nor responsible with the life that has been given to me, but ultimately I'll be held accountable to the gift giver who is God. And then just again making that gospel parallel that Jesus has life in of himself, and he's the only one who can do what he wants and do as he pleases. And what he sought to do was live a righteous life and then die the death that we rightly deserve so that we might have the gift of eternal life. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check out that concept, please do. It's on SoundCloud and iTunes. Like I said, thank you so much to Rich. Did an excellent job just having an opportunity to just to share his testimony, what a powerful testimony that it is, and just for him just to be willing to be open and vulnerable. I think that's the true test of what a man is. So shout out to Rich and everything that he's going through, about to get married and just got a lot going on for him. So shout out to my guy Rich. Thank you so much for coming to be a part of this with us. But I'm glad to have my brother back, man. Glad to have my brother Jermel back. It's been a while. So I hope everything is good. How's your week been, bro?
Yeah, we just definitely talking before. Just from a life standpoint, it's okay. It's doing all right. Dealing with some things just within myself, on my job. It's more of an internal thing that I'm dealing with. Some things are going on in the workplace, but it's not things that are not unexpected. But it's just a internal thing I'm just dealing with, going through, and just trying to learn from that, learn where I'm going. But other than that, my wife is good. She's doing well. My beautiful wife is doing well. Just family's doing okay. Family's healthy. I'm just grateful to be here, man. Thankful to be here. How about you?
Glad to have you. It's going good. It's going good for me. Class is almost finished. So finishing up class. Yeah. It's going good. You know, just time is just flying by. Next week, my sister-in-law is graduating college, so hopefully we'll be up in Pennsylvania to celebrate with her. But like the semester is ending, people are graduating.
Yeah, man, that's fine.
It's just flying by, man. The older you get, just the time don't stand still.
Keep going.
At all. But like I said, I'm great to be here. Just great, just having good conversations with guys in the church. Like I said, I'm just terrible at meeting with people, and I regretted the fact that, I haven't reached out to people. So I reached out Thursday with Nate Key. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but me and Nate had a really great conversation. Just a cool brother. So shout out to Nate. Thanks for having me over and just having great conversation. So that guy, he's a super talented dude, and he got some things working. So look out for my guy, Nate Key. But this week we are in concept number 32. I know, like, if you're looking on the podcast, it's all out of order. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we are talking, what are the practical uses of fire? Now, hopefully, this one excites people a little bit more because, talking about fire, I know we got a lot of pyromaniacs out there, hopefully being safe with it and whatnot. But we talking about fire and what are the practical uses of it. So I start off with this. Do you have any experiences with fire? It's kind of funny that we're talking about this topic because we were all in a group chat one day I forget what we were talking about, but I know like me and Roshan were like roasting each other, going back and forth. And I was like making something for Autumn, and like one of her little cup things for food or whatever the case is, and I just put it in the microwave just to like heat it up for like 10 seconds or something. And that joint caught on fire, yo. And it's like I do this millions and millions of times, and like I was definitely scared because I didn't know what to do, because I'm looking and I see a spark and the whole thing just light up, and I'm like, yo, what do I do? It's like a fire going on right now. So I just got on like the oven mitts and I just started batting the fire down, and you just see all the smutting everywhere going in the microwave. So yeah, that aside from that, I don't really mess with fire that much, but that was as close as I came to like, yo, burning down the pot, man. But I don't know if you had any experience with a fire or anything like that.
Like growing up, I never really was allowed to like really do anything on like the stove or nothing like that. But I do remember this as you're talking about the microwave incident. So when me and my we was engaged at the time, but when me and my wife first moved out, and we moved into our apartment, like this is like the first night. Yeah. Like we cooking something in the oven. So like she might get me for this, but she left the like the metal like containers, like the aluminum containers. So she puts that in the oven. We're cooking some chicken. I don't know what we were cooking, but she leaves like the plastic that's supposed to be the top on it. Man. Like so, we're just sitting there like we're walking past it to look and see, and I see like just fire in the bottom of the oven. I'm like, oh, like she's like, ah, like, she's like screaming, and I'm sitting there like I've never like
you don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. So like I'm sitting there like, and I'm calm for some reason. For some reason, when stuff going crazy, I can just be calm. Yeah. So I just go get a glass of water, open the oven, and I pour it in there. Oh, God. So that's just all I did. And then I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, I could be a firefighter. I'm thinking I'm like this hero or something like that. But like, I remember that happening, but I'm like, man, what if like that happened and I was playing a game, she was watching TV, we look and we smell something, nobody's paying attention, and I'm looking at like the whole kitchen's on fire, and I'd have been like, it wouldn't have been the same situation. So I mean, yeah, so that's one of my really, really close encounters recently. I don't have the aluminum foil in the microwave store. I got a whooping. I remember one time being really little for something like that. So I think I stayed away from that. Yeah. Trying to put aluminum foil in that microwave, but because I'm not even sure it was aluminum foil in the microwave for you. You just said
no. I think it was because you got to peel off the top. Okay. And I think I left a little residue, and then I threw the paper towel over it.
Oh yeah, and
so it was so small that I didn't really pay attention to it. And that joint just sparked. Oh. And like, yeah, it was.
Did Autumn notice it, or she?
No, she ain't notice. She didn't notice. I'm like, oh my goodness, going crazy. Because I sent y'all a picture of the thing, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. She probably just yeah, it was done like, because there was still food in there, so like all got burnt up and everything. It was just disgusting. So yeah, but the reason that I bring that up, because I say the connotation of fire is generally a negative one. Yeah. Fire causes destruction and ruin. These are two things that people generally want to avoid. Even a small spark can ignite and be dangerous. Therefore, it is best to steer clear of fire. I say, however, if fire can be manipulated and controlled, it has tremendous benefits. And so I say this, why do you think people view fire so negatively when there are so many positives to it?
I mean, I think just in our culture, or just in general, just going through our life, I mean, a lot of young people, when you're growing up and you're going through school, one of the dream jobs is to be like a firefighter. Yeah. So like you just grow up with that thought that like you need somebody to protect you from fire, and you don't really understand unless you really get into fire science or something like that. You never really get into the practical use and like really how to control it, how to work with it. You just see fire as this thing that's dangerous, but as I've just grown older. Like I never started cooking on the grill till like a year ago, but I've like been around people that done it all the time. Like for me, before I did that, like my wife can tell you, like I was like super anxious before I had to light the grill. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like,
I'm gonna blow it up.
I want to blow the house up. I'm having dreams. I'm thinking like, man, like I'm gonna go out there and the whole deck's gonna be on fire. The back of the house gonna be on fire. Like I'm gonna be doing crazy stuff. But like when I did it, it was like I did it and I saw it. Like now I got used to it. Now I got to the point where I'm trying to learn how to heat the coals and have the coals real high. And I want the coal. I was mad one time because the coals weren't super hot.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I need these to be hot. Like the first time I was like, whoa, this is too hot, man. It's too much fire. But now I'm like, man, I need them hotter. I need them hotter. So like I'm seeing the practical use and the benefit of having fire to be able to cook and prepare and take things. And you can use it for a generally good purpose, even though there are a lot of times when you're young.
Yeah.
Well, I knew kids that are around me that would like really be into fire. They would have lighters and stuff, and they'd be like lighting random stuff on fire, like paper, and hold it. And I'm like, yo, your hand ain't burning. Like, so I mean, it's a lot of different ways to look at fire. You can look at your birthday cake with the candles, blowing them out. I used to get nervous about that. I didn't want to touch it. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like sometimes you do grow up with that. If you see fire in a negative way, like that, you have to be protected from it.
Yeah.
You can just have that ounce of fear that like, yo, I gotta. It can be fear or it can be respect, but you gotta be able to learn about it and have experience with it to be able to determine the difference.
No, I think that's real. Like you said, just we grow up just wanting to have that respect that can almost make it seem as if fire is like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's like it needs to be controlled. Because if it's not, it can be dangerous. For
sure.
You know, so I think that's definitely true. I say fire serves as a source of light, warmth. In addition, one is able to use fire to cook and to refine. In fact, harnessing fire is another way humans are set apart from animals. I said outside of the sun and moon, the first source of light came from torches. Over time, torches were replaced with oil, gas, and electric lamps. Despite these innovations, fire will always serve as a source of light. Closely related to light is warmth. Fire is defined as a chemical reaction that releases light and heat. Fire is often overlooked, is an overlooked essential, but these two practical uses serve as a means of survival. And like I said, just looking at it just from an objective lens, I don't know if people view fire as essential to fire. Do you think it's a stretch to view fire as something essential, and not essential in a like biological sense, like your heart or something like that, but essential as far as survival? Because I don't know if you were telling me this, but like you like watching those like survivor shows where the guys are like out in the wilderness and stuff like that, and it's like you need fire because it's like man, it starts to get cold. We need to gather wood for fire, and so I don't know if it's a stretch to say, man, fire is essential to our survival, especially early on. As far as our ancestors go and things like that. What are your thoughts about that?
I think so, because like when you're talking about like those shows with the people out in the wilderness surviving, like it's like Naked and Afraid or something like that. They gotta be like, is it 21 days? It's something like that where they gotta be like out in the wilderness butt naked, like 21. Not to try to front, but like I couldn't do that. But like it is like one of the first things they figure out or try to do is like, all right, we gotta make a fire. Like, and then to the readers, I never really thought about it like that, but like that's like the first thing they want to do. They need to find a fire so they can find food and they can cook it. Like, so they using fire to cook, to just meet just a essential human needs. Like some of your human needs are like to have food, to have safety, to have warmth, to have comfort. You need to feel warm. You need to have your food cooked. You need to eat and you need shelter. So like they using fire to be able to take care of that. And they also using fire so they can see when it's pitch black and you're in the middle of a forest. You don't know you gotta protect yourself. Like you don't know what's coming. Like them animals in the jungle, they gotta be like cunning, like snakes and jaguars, panthers. I don't know. Like there's a lot of stuff, but yeah, I would say fire. Like in a sense, just watching a show like that, you can see how essential it is to just human life. I mean, just the stove in general. That's a concept of heat and fire. It's just a concept that's really basic to our functioning that we do take for granted if you don't really think about it, man.
Nah, and that's the thing about the topic. So even though it's like, what are the practical uses of fire? It seems like I'm coming out of left field. But when you start to think about these things, you may